in tonight with some cold, hard facts. Donald John Trump is broke and begging for money. He owes New York State roughly $454 million, and the deadline to put up a bond if he wants to appeal or a deposit on the debt is Monday. If he fails to do so, New York Attorney General Letitia James can move in on Trump's bank accounts or real estate. His lawyers, paid for by the RNC, are telling the court that he doesn't have the money, which leads us to another fact.
You know, isn't it funny when they sit there and lie? It's a fact that Trump is broke. Trump is broke because he didn't have $500,000 in, or $500 million, excuse me. It's a big difference. Let me clarify. $500 million in cash. He didn't have $500 million. And now they're calling him broke. Yeah. And she said that was a fact. It's a fact that Trump is broke because he doesn't have $500 million in cash. How crazy is that? You know, but hey, once again, I'm happy that this is happening because it's proving to people that we have been right. They have been lying to you the entire time. When you say that it's a fact that a guy is broke when he doesn't have $500 million in cash, you got some issues. You got a whole lot of issues. Why would anyone have $500 million in cash? If you got that kind of money, why not put that into some investments that are going to generate you more cash? You don't need $500 million in cash. The average person, right? Unless you're Donald J. Trump, then of course you're gonna need that, right? But most people don't need that kind of money. Most people, you know, your rainy day fund isn't anywhere near that. And if it is, we need to talk. I got some business ideas, okay? Goodness gracious, that's your rainy day fund. Wow. I want to see what your fund money is. Anyway, we got to talk about The View today because they lost their minds over this breaking news. Well, it's not really breaking news, but over this news that Trump recently received. I mean, this guy, man, I am loving it. I am loving it. One person, I believe it was on, I forgot the network, but a guy said, it's got to be God behind you that's doing all of this. With all of the trials and the witch hunts, and you know, every time Trump seems to come out on top, every single time, including this one. Like, share, comment, and hit that subscribe button if you are new. And let's dive into this breaking news before we get into the meat and potatoes. Let's dive in.
The resumption of trade on DJT there, now up some 34%. Jim, in terms of us...
Wow, I mean, look at this, will you?
What's that?
No, the DJT, I mean, if I were Donald Trump, now it's 8 million shares. This is the moment where you say that you have an obligation to release more shares. And I've got shares that I'd like to release.
Yep.
And that's, the board can do that. The board can say no, but the board, I think, I'm not sure where Mr. Trump's head is, but this is a moment where he could very easily say, look, the stock's up 286%. No one would mind if I sold stock, so please let me do it. Now, he may say, I don't need to, because he's prideful, but I don't know. I think that no one would begrudge him if he went to the board and say, look, I'd like to have some stock released.
Well, there was a nice piece in the FT yesterday about the ratio of insider selling to buying. I mean, it's fairly bearish, you could argue, but it hasn't stopped some of these names from powering higher. Meta's a good example.
Well, I just think if you own stock in one of these mega caps and you're not selling, that it's almost like, from the point of view of estate planning, you're being very foolish. Any one of these people should be selling. But when I look at, they all have such faith. I mean,
so for those of you that didn't know, Trump's Truth Social merged with a blank check company. I forgot the name of it. Not recalling. But the ticker sign is DJT, which is absolutely hilarious. You can see it down here. That's the ticker sign. And yesterday or Monday, between Monday and yesterday, the stock rose significantly. And, stock traders, professional guys and gals are all wondering like, oh my goodness, how is this possible? This company isn't technically really worth this much. And I think one of the things about it is I think it's folks like you and I that are buying that stock and driving the price up because, I heard someone say this, goodness gracious, I need to start saving some of these clips. But they were talking about how this is, Trump supporters' way of giving back to Trump by boosting the stock. And hey, it got boosted so much that Trump's net worth, I think, was estimated based on the stock as well as, his current net worth was up to like $8 billion at $8 or $9 billion at one point. It boosted his net worth so much that he jumped into the top 500 richest people on the planet. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy to think that he wasn't even on that list already. He's a billionaire. So in order to be the top 500, you need to be like 5 billion plus, 6 billion plus in order to be on that list. But that's also crazy, But of course, mainstream media as well as The View and, those folks are absolutely losing their minds over the fact that Trump just doesn't seem to go away. He just keeps on winning.
Everybody. So you know who this is really going to annoy y'all. And I hate to tell you, but he got a big discount yesterday after...
Yeah.
I know. After an appeals court lowered his bond from $464 million to $175 million. He's also the first former U.S. president to face criminal charges when he goes on trial April 15th for alleged hush money payments to Stormy Daniels. But here's what he said outside the courtroom yesterday.
Do we have to look at him again?
I respect the appellate division for substantially reducing that ridiculous amount of money that was put on by a corrupt judge named Engoron. In the case of the trial that we just left, one of the many that are going, every single one of them is run by Biden and his thugs. We have a man who just ruled he'd like the trial to start in 21 days or something. And I don't know how you can have a trial that's going on right in the middle of an election. Not fair.
Yeah. Well. Boo, boo.
He's also saying the criminal trial could make him more popular.
Yeah.
Because a lot of his base is going to side with him no matter what. Yes, that's probably true. But is this...
Wrong. It's not his base. And I've said this before. The base never left. It's funny how they selectively use the cult terminology, right? We're a cult. The MAGA is a cult. It's a cult. It's a cult. It's a cult. But when it doesn't fit their narrative, oh, well, they're just gonna, So MAGA never left. Remember, we're a cult, as they like to call it. Not really. It's everyone else that has joined the Trump train. Trump actually has a base. Biden doesn't. Trump has an absolute floor that where he will never drop below. Okay? That stayed. It's been everyone else since these trials have begun that started to hop on the bandwagon. So he's most definitely right. As a matter of fact, I heard that there are some polls now that are coming out that state that even if he is convicted now on any of these things, which he has been already, that it won't affect his poll numbers. Because remember, the whole narrative was, oh yeah, Trump's winning, but polls are showing that if he's convicted of something, people aren't going to support him. Well, even that has changed. Okay, so yeah, people are seeing the truth for what it is. And the truth is that this is a witch hunt. It's clear as day. It's as clear as day. It's absolutely insane what they are doing to this man. But let's continue.
It's going to make him more appealing to uncommitted voters. Oh, he's got another trial. I'm going to vote for him.
Yeah, exactly.
How is that going to work?
I guess it makes them feel like they're victims, like he's a victim, they're victims. It's like all of that. But it's like he's got how many?
88 criminal charges across 4 different jurisdictions.
I mean, the only thing the guy hasn't done so far.
Exactly. An absolutely cartoonish amount. Cartoonish. I forgot who said this, but they were talking about the Letitia James and Judge Engoron trial, and they had said that they would have been better off just charging Trump $10 million. Sure, the dollar amount wouldn't have affected him as much, but it wouldn't have been so obvious to everyone what is happening. You know, Biden and, you know, these wicked folks would have been better off going after Trump with one trial, with one case where they stick it to him, just one. And it wouldn't have been as obvious what's going on. But instead, they couldn't help themselves. Oh, we got to throw this indictment. We got to throw this indictment, and then throw this one. Oh, we forgot about this one. Then we got the Judge Engoron, and we got the Eugene Carroll, right? We forgot about all those. You know, just pile it on. Like it makes it so obvious that people can't help but to see it for what it is. You should have gone after Trump with one case. Whichever one you believe that you might have been able to get a conviction on somehow, some type of way, that's the one you should have hit him with, and you should have left it at that. And you might have been able to get rid of him. Maybe, right? I hate to say that, but facts don't care about your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Don't care about mine either. And the fact is, there would have been a lot of people who just would have saw it as, oh, well, Trump did something wrong and they're going after him for what he did wrong. And it is what it is. But because they've gone after him this many times, with this many cases, with this many charges, people are like, no. This is the load of crap. You see what I mean? But let's continue.
Or shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue.
Right.
Like he said he could do.
Yeah.
He's done every crime now, and he's running for the presidency of one of the great countries of the world. Just let that sink in for a second.
Yeah. Well, and there's this.
That's also the thing. We have illegals beating up cops and they get to walk free. But all of a sudden, Trump is like this horrible, terrible, no good, very bad guy, the worst person ever in the world. But you got people beating up cops and walking free. Yeah.
Myth out there that somehow these trials are going to win him over more voters and there's going to be sympathy. I reject that as a Republican because, yes, his base is going to be with him and they're going to vocally defend him. But to
You're
this
not a
sort of
Republican.
30% call them the Nikki Haley voters or the somebody other than Trump Republicans, there is no way hush money payments to Stormy Daniels or this fraud case in New York are going to make them more sympathetic to him. I find it to be just complete lunacy. But I'm thinking about something else right now related to this. Donald Trump, aside from his general unfitness, is destroying the Republican Party. So right now, the RNC has $11 million cash on hand. How much did it have this time in 2020 when he lost the election? $77 million. Joe Biden's outraising him 2-1.
Yeah.
And the Democrats and Biden have 3-1 money cash on hand.
Yeah.
So if you're a down ballot Republican.
And I also saw a report that Trump is outpacing the Biden administration in terms of small donors, 2-1. And we also can talk about the accusations, gotta say they're accusations, that allegedly the Biden administration has been receiving campaigns from ghost donors. Some of them have been allegedly coming from China. We don't know. Allegedly. I gotta say allegedly. There have been reports in folks going door to door, asking people who were supposed to had been donating to Joe Biden, they were getting asked, hey, well, did you donate X amount on these days? And they were like, no, I donated one time and it was like $5. Well, this report says that you had donated, this amount on these specific days. No, that wasn't me. Well, that's interesting. If that wasn't you, then why did they say it was you? I'm just saying. And on top of all of that, Trump has a lot of money. And I'm sure a lot of the campaign funds for the RNC are getting used on these phony trials. But he's got a lot of cash. So you're going to have to compete with that. And if I'm Trump, I'm going to try to empty things to make sure that I walk back into that White House. If that means I got to spend a quarter bill, I'm going to spend a quarter bill. If I got to spend $250 million, I'm going to spend it. But that's just me personally. Because I think the positives outweigh the negatives, right? The negative, obviously, you just spent $250 million. You know, it's a lot of money. More money than I've ever seen in my life. That's for darn sure. So now you don't have that money to put into investments and other things, obviously. But the positives, we save this country. And we get things back on going the right direction and fix this justice system that is clearly broken. So that's just my opinion. What do you think?
Republican candidate, you're running for Senate somewhere, you're running for the House.
Yeah.
How are you not angry? There's not going to be money there to fund your race. It's paying Trump's legal bills.
You should be angry. And, you know, I will say this, and I think it'll surprise people. The fact that his bond...
Hold on. Sir,
What's
I
that?
have to stop you with the camera because I can see you. So do me a favor, don't pull it out again. I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
What was he doing?
Recording.
So as I was saying, you know, I think this will surprise people, but the lowering of the bond was very appropriate, right? We always say that we want everyone to be treated across the legal spectrum in the same way, and that we want the law to apply equally in the same way. Bonds are not supposed to be punitive. They are only supposed to make sure that the person returns to court and answers, you know, whatever charges have been alleged. He does have a valid appeal, as far as I can tell. It seems like he has a valid basis to appeal. And so what this judge said is, I'm going to take $175 million instead of over $400 million so that you can continue your appeal, so that you can continue living your life and doing your business. But to be clear, if he loses that appeal, they get to keep that $175 million, and then he got to pony up with the rest of the money. So this is how it is supposed to work. This is due process.
Thank you,
And
Sonny.
I'm comfortable with
Good. Well, you know, listen, as
1 moment of being honest. What a rare sight, huh?
long as he gets treated like everyone else.
Yes. In this case, he is.
I'd like everyone else to be treated as well as he's being treated. That's what I'd like to see.
Yes.
You know.
I think that
If that is what you consider being treated well, wow, my goodness, I hate to see what he considers being treated badly. If that's being treated well, goodness gracious.
Pivotal moment going forward will be the April 15th criminal trial.
Yes.
Because I do think that all this money in exchange, it feels day to day, and there's like a minutia and a numbing to watching it play out. But there are a lot of numbers. 51% of Republicans said that they would not vote for Trump if he becomes a convicted felon. And 44% of independents said the same thing. And I think even though we've seen the E. Jean Carroll case and the fraud case,
Civil cases, they're not criminal.
they're civil and not criminal. I do think the criminal case is going to affect that middle ground of undecided.
Those are old polls, but hey, if you help us to sleep at night, I mean, I guess you can quote them.
And to your point, Sarah, and I think it's a really important one, people do make a distinction in their minds between, oh, well, he owes money, as opposed to, oh, he's going to jail. Oh, he did something criminal. People feel differently about it. It's like a guttural reaction.
But how many accusations does one person have to have before you're waiting for the courts
Well, he
to
has
do it?
44 in state and 44 in federal. But what I will say about this thing in New York, if he were to become president, which is unprecedented that we have a
Well, say
felon
God
as
forbid.
president.
My mother used to go, say God forbid.
God forbid.
So
My mother
say
says
God
the
forbid.
same thing. Yes. God forbid. He cannot pardon himself on a state charge.
But he can do it on a federal charge?
Yes, he can.
That's why Fulton County
Whoever did that, nobody ever did that.
And that's why this case is actually very important. And Stormy Daniels is now a very important witness, by the way.
Yeah. But I don't know, doesn't it freak people? Is it not freaking people out how we're talking about this? This is a man
Yes.
who said, I'm going to perpetrate a coup
Yes.
on the country. Now, when I
That's not what he said. Not what he said at all. He said go peacefully. Peacefully. Again, a third time for the people in the back that can't fucking hear. He said peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. I rest my case.
was a kid, nobody. If somebody had said that, your face would fall off. Your head would explode.
Yes.
But we talk about this like it's normal now.
Well, we don't
This
think it's
is-
normal.
No, but this is an issue.
Yeah.
This is not normal.
Yeah.
It is not normal to say that doesn't count when it's been fair and legal. It's not normal.
Well, and just to be clear,
know.
I believe the legal system and all of this is important.
Yes.
I think how it affects voters is
No,
different.
but how it just affected. I'm going to get to her. My God, guys, I'm going to get to her. May I finish my point, or you want me to just jump now?
Whoopi is not in the mood today.
I'm not.
For your shenanigans.
I'm trying, I'm
Brian's
trying to do
shenanigans.
everything everybody wants, but I never mind. Go ahead, son.
I have a legal note, everyone.
No kidding.
Trump has denied any wrongdoing and has pleaded not guilty
Duh.
to all 88 charges.
88.
So we need.
You know, it's hilarious how they always come in with the legal notes because of their mouths just running nonstop with BS lies, right? Which also says a lot, you know, when you have to come in with all of these legal notes all the time on their shows. Because we've watched them or watched clips. We haven't watched whole shows. Let me be clear on that. But we've watched multiple clips where they always pop in, or Sonny pops in with, I got a legal note, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, it's obvious if you're speaking the truth. And listen, if we have any lawyers or attorneys watching, judges watching, possibly, you know, let us all know. Any legal experts, I'll put it that way. If you're telling the truth, then why do you need a legal note? Just a question. Just a question. You know, I'm just saying. Anyway, yeah. I just find that absolutely hilarious. I think that says a lot, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is a 100% bona fide legal reason why they always do that. But I just find it interesting, you know, just find it real interesting. But yeah, man, Trump takes another W against, you know, in terms of all these witch hunts against him. I mean, my goodness, this stuff has just gotten ridiculous. I really feel bad for the guy, man. I really do. Nobody should have to go through this, what he's going through. Nobody should have to go through this. And, you know, the left always says, oh, well, you know, it's the justice system being fair. Like, no, this clearly is not fair. I've gone through the list of BS reasons why. I don't need to harp on that once again. But, yeah, y'all let me know your thoughts, your opinions on this in the comment section below. Like, share, comment. Hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.